Welcome to the NDE WORLD Podcast, where we explore the magical, mystical and spiritual world of near-death experiences. And now, Ashton Lewis and Daphne Lynn.
Welcome to the NDE WORLD Podcast. I am your host, Ashton Lewis. And with me I have my lovely hostess, Miss Daphne Lynn. Hello, Miss Daphne Lynn. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Ashton. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. As always, I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm so honored and glad to be here to be able to share this information with everybody.
Me as well. Yes, very well put.
Still working on this, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You can probably hear it in my voice, but I got my hot tea. I got my cup of hot tea, and I'm ready to go. So we'll just kind of roll with me, and we'll get things up and going here. So
sounds great.
Yeah. Okie dokie. So welcome, all of you who are here for the first time, and welcome back for those of you who are returning. And don't forget to go to the website, NDE.world. Again, that is
NDE.world.
Today we have got a really cool subject that so many people talk about, so many people are concerned about, and most of all, so many people are clueless about. So we're going to go ahead and take the subject of judgment in the afterlife, okay? And when we talk about judgment, a lot of religions, Christianity really comes to my mind, but there are others that teach that as well. Really, I guess what we're looking at is kind of a religious sense when it talks about judgment. In other words, for your sins, or for
the way you lived your life.
The way you lived your life, or for not accepting a certain deity, or for not believing in Jesus. They say that could, damn you for eternity. I don't know where people get this from. It doesn't say that in the scriptures. Anyway, but the question is going to be pertaining to that. Like, is there any judgment in that afterlife and things like that? So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and take things from a NDE perspective, where we have a lot of different people that has actually had these experiences, near-death experiences, and they are actually going to be commenting on, about judgment and how things, what they've experienced on the other side, and we're gonna see if we can find like some common elements or some
Sounds great.
keys in it. So how's that sound?
Wonderful. Let's find out what the answers are on this.
If you don't mind, Daphne, go ahead and take the question there, and we'll just go jump into the comments.
Yeah, it's a straight and to the point, and no build up or excess in it. It is simply a quick question. Did you experience any judgment in your near-death experience?
Alrighty, and the first comment to that is, the only judgment is from ourselves. Source, or God, does not judge or punish anyone. It just doesn't happen or work like that over there, and no one is sent to a place of fire and torment. It doesn't exist over there either. Okay, Daphne.
I'm picking out a couple of different things in this, but the judgment, this person says, is from ourselves, and we have heard this so many times from different experiencers that say we are assessing what we have done in our lifetimes and making a judgment of that, because and it happens through the life review. So that is a very common comment on when you're talking about judgment. And I love the fact that everyone that does have these experiences says that source or God or guides or whoever is with you in your life review, they are indifferent to what you've done in your lifetime.
Absolutely. I love how you said that. Yeah, very well said and very clear. And in case those who are listening aren't familiar with the concept of the life review, welcome to the world of near-death experiences and a whole shift in your reality when you start understanding, the structures and the concepts and all the stuff that's involved. And when you understand the concept of the life review, it totally destroys the whole concept of judgment.
Right.
It's really the way I look at it. The life review is heaven, hell, karma,
everything rolled into one.
Judgment, if it was such thing as judgment. In that sense, absolutely everything all rolled up in one, you know?
Right. You know, you hear people explaining things that happened to them throughout their life. It's like, oh, it's like my life flashed before my eyes. That's literally what the life review is a review of your life from in this incarnation, from birth till your experience.
Yeah, that transition. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we have plenty of podcasts out there, guys. Just go over to the NDE WORLD website and just look it up. There's lots of information on that, and like what the life review is. In fact, I think we have specific podcasts just on the life review.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
You know, but in a nutshell, you know, really quick, it's just a matter of you review your life, but you also get to experience it from the other people that you've experienced life with, from their perspective. You get to feel what they felt. Like if you've done good to people, you get that back. If you've done harm to people, you get that back. So, you know, but you're not being judged. And you don't really necessarily judge yourself, but for lack of words in human terms, yes, you're the one that has to, you know, oh, wow, oh, I can't believe I did that. Oh, I should have, you know, or like, oh, wow, I didn't realize I had that much of a impact on them. You know, then you got that ripple effect. You know,
oh yeah, the ripple
you have an
effect's
experience with
major.
a person and how that affected them, their life, and then their families and their friends, their on and on. So we just don't know. The key is just to do the best and to love, harm none, and it'll come out really good in the life review. But we'll cover more on that, I'm sure, throughout this episode. If not, you can go again to the website and just check in the life review podcast section. So
yeah, and you know, another thing I'm picking out of this and sensing is, all right, this person says it doesn't happen or work like that over there, and that the fiery place of torment doesn't exist over there. I mean, it's like they're giving it a place, and it's from what I understand with everything is here.
Now.
Yeah,
It's
everything
different
is
dimensions. Yeah,
tied together. Yeah.
the eternal now.
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome. I like how you said that. You know, yeah. But I think really, of course, we got to understand the concept of speech and people talking and trying to explain spiritual things in physical terms, for lack of words. But you know, we understand what they're saying. You know, that things don't happen on the other side. Which is there another side? Well, it could be this side.
It's either physical or spiritual. It's one of the two.
Correct. So
yeah.
And I believe that's what they're referring to.
It is, but I'm just looking at it from a different perspective now. It's like,
sense.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really benefiting from listening to these accounts and reading these accounts, watching videos, reading on these accounts. There's so much to enlighten people. If you want to be enlightened, the knowledge is out there.
Yeah.
You can grow and feel fulfilled without walking through life thinking it's pointless. What's my purpose here? I have never felt so much better in all my whole life than I do at this moment in my life.
That's a good thing.
Most definitely.
So the takeaway from this comment is that you know there is no judgment from a higher source or God. That you are that source. Okay, you are God, so you're not going to be judging yourself. Okay, from that perspective. However, you as the soul or an individual part of that God or that source that we're talking about that you've experienced here, and you take that back with you, those experiences. So, you're going to have to re-experience those. Now, and like it says that God or source does not judge or punish. I like that, how they brought that out. So many people say that they first of all they've given God a human, characteristics and things like that, and then they give it its attributes of humanity, like judgmental and wrathful and vengeful and harmful and hateful.
Own reflections.
Which if God is everything God can be, what it needs to be, who am I to say? But I don't get it. I get just love, unconditional love, pure love from all of this and all the stuff that we're learning. So I can't even put that as a concept. I think that's man.
Right. And I like the way you kind of brought that out. If we're all God and we're all one, then what would God need to, or source, need to judge itself about?
Right.
Why would it condemn itself? We really have to shift our paradigm and our thinking in this information, because we've been conditioned a certain way and taught that you're nothing, you're worthless,
You're a sinner. That's the favorite one they like to use. You're a sinner, you know?
Oh, yeah. You know, when you realize you're not all those things, it just lifts you up so much. I mean, it releases that fear and so much more.
Yeah. You're the divine, individualized little spark of that divine, what we call God, or that source, and you are part of, and you are here to experience, to be, to be in this world where you can, learn about you and learn about what we call God and source and things like that, and then you carry that back with you. But the key is to really just to love and to share that love with all, and to let everybody know, hey, you are source. You're not a sinner. And once you learn that you are God, and like I said, this is not from an ego perspective. You got to,
right.
Those who are getting uncomfortable, that's the ego kicking in. But those who know what we're talking about know that you are a source, you are God in that regard. But once you understand that, you have no desire to murder. Well, I've never had a desire to murder anyway. Before I got more into my spirituality, but you walk
condemn.
that walk.
I mean, just say condemn.
You have no desire to harm. You have no desire to steal, to cheat, to do any kind of harm. It's not that you are a sinner, No, that's part of the conditioning.
Exactly.
It ties in with the judgment. Why do you need judgment? Well, to be saved. What do you need to be saved from? From judgment. What judgment? God's wrath. What wrath? Why? Because you're a sinner. Why? Because you make mistakes. God gave you free will. You did what you want, but now He's going to destroy you for life. No, that's not how it works. Not like how this person brings it out right here. The source is not going to be sending you to a place of fire and torment. Now, will you have to be tormented in your own mind? Hey, it depends on what you did while you were here in the flesh.
That's right.
Did you torment other people? Well, you're going to get tormented back. But it's going to be in your mind. Will it be hell? Absolutely.
But there's not a fiery place of torment.
Exactly. All right. Would you like to take the next one?
Sure. It says, you judge yourself in your life review. Nobody judges you. It comes down to knowing from their perspective what your actions caused to them. You see the ripple effect. We spoke on that earlier.
Yeah. Very good. And this person actually, this is exactly what we were saying earlier. You judge yourself. Again, guys, it's not judge. You don't judge yourself, okay? You have to re-experience whatever you put in. This is where they call the reaping and sowing. That's where you cash in for your harvest, okay? You planted seeds all of your life. You planted physical seeds. You've planted mostly important spiritual seeds. Seeds that would either grow and help people grow and help people be enlightened and grow towards the light. Mm-hmm. Or you planted seeds of hurt and harm and selfishness, destruction, Well, you have to harvest, and the life review is harvest time.
Exactly, yes. We had touched on it earlier. Nobody judges you. We were talking about how, many different ones experience guides there with them, or angels there with them, ancestors, even Source itself. But there's no one condemning and judging your actions while you were in this physical realm.
Right. And the key thing, though, like this person brings out, it comes down from you knowing from other people's perspective what your actions caused them.
Yes.
You see, that's the main thing, guys. That's where you and think about this. You get to relive all of your experiences, but you get to feel it from not only your perspective, but the other person's perspective. And there's so many beautiful stories out there too.
Yes, and how whatever effect you had on somebody else, be it good, if you want to deem it good, or bad, that ripple effect. You get to see the outcome your actions had on others down the line.
Exactly. That's
because love goes a long way, just like harm goes a long way.
It does. And you never know what kind of impact you'd have on a person's life just giving them a smile.
Yes,
give them a hug. Give
them
love. Give them anything you can give. It's all about giving, helping others.
Being of service,
you grasp that, you're either for others or you're for self.
Right.
And self is separation from God. Well, okay, perfect. Yeah, that pretty much covered exactly like what we were talking about earlier. Any final comments on that, Miss Daphne?
No, that's all. That it was straight and to the point, like many of these comments
Okay.
are on this question.
All right, moving on along to the next comment. It says that you become the people you interacted with, for good or bad. I like that. If you were bad to them, you feel exactly the pain they felt. An eye for an eye, so to speak, which is fair. That is your own personal hell or heaven of your own making.
Yeah, I love that, and that's what we were saying earlier. Is you get to feel that effect of others, that you interacted with. Whatever you had happen, you interact with that person and feel what they feel, their thoughts, emotions, everything in that moment, like it says, for good or bad.
Absolutely. And just for a little side note, if it is within your ability to do so, go fix any harm that you've done. If you can, if it's any kind of means, if it's something within your ability, as hard as it may be, okay, you can do it now or you can do it on the other side. Either way, but if there's something that you've done or harmed someone and you have the means to be able to go and talk to them and apologize and fix that with love, then that also will make a difference in the life review as well. So
because that's going to be a ripple effect.
Yes, because so you don't have to wait until after you transition over to the other side to go through a life review to experience these things. You'd be surprised just making that adjustment alone, if you can. Now, if it's a situation like we've talked about on here before, then say prayers and meditations and send them love, and there's ways to be able to ease that trauma inside, but you still may have to end up dealing with it on the other side.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But like it says here, it makes the most sense. It's the most fair. Doesn't it make sense? I mean, what makes the most sense, Daphne? Say, for example, if you've got somebody that had murdered, 1 million people, or you've got somebody that went into a school and murdered 30 people, or somebody that held up a bank and robbed and stole from them and ended up shooting 2 people. I mean, now each one of those, their condemnation is going to be to burn for eternity. Okay, because in a sense, those were all crimes, but you get the point,
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's the beauty in it, is when you get to see and feel what others have felt from your actions toward them.
Makes the most sense.
It balances out, and that can be a personal hell. It's not like it's a physical place that some external source is going to condemn and send you to for your actions, but it's a personal hell. It's your thinking on it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's really the balance. I love it. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm trying to do whatever I can do, but we've all made mistakes, and
right.
So
some of the reviews that we had done where people had interacted with animals and plants and everything around us as well. It's not just interactions with humankind. It is interactions with life.
Yes.
Life. Everything is life. Everything is conscious.
Even trees that you've harmed.
Yes. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Insects.
Every interaction with everything is going to be part of your life review, because it's how you act and treat life.
Life.
Yes.
Very well said. I like that. Very good. So if you think about that, and it's perfect, and I like how it ends up here. It says it can be your own personal hell, or it can be heaven. And what that means is it's going to be mirrored back to you, the seeds that you planted. You're going to reap what you sow.
That's what I was going to say. Reap what you sow, yeah.
Yeah, it's called the law of cause and effect, guys. You can't put something out without it coming back. Some even call it karma. That's kind of, it would tie in with the concept of karma. So anyway, it's all the life review, all tied up in one.
Yes.
Okay, any final comments?
No, not on that one.
Okie dokie. How about the next one then? Would you take that one?
Sure. It says, there is no judgment. None. Judgment is negative. And there's no place for negativity in heaven. In my own experience, judgment is what preachers hand down every Sunday when they haven't been to heaven.
Okay. Comments?
Yeah, I mean, it's that straight to your face. I mean, there is no judgment. And that's something that a lot of people are really going to have to rewire their thinking on and change their heart and mind about, because we're conditioned that way, that this is what's going to happen, when we're seeing from so many of these NDEers that is just not the case. And we have to realize that in that spiritual realm, there is no negativity there. And when you think judgment, you're thinking that is negative. That, I mean, it's a condemnation kind of
Good point.
So negativity doesn't follow into the spirit realm
Right.
the way that it does here.
Very, very well said. Yeah, that's the key thing. Again, they say it's no judgment. All right. But I like how it's brought out here. It says judgment is what preachers hand down every Sunday when they haven't been to heaven. So how can a preacher get up there and preach about heaven when they have no clue about heaven, or they've never experienced heaven, or never had even a near-death experience to go on the other side, or probably never even had an out-of-body experience, probably never even astral traveled, So how can they do that? Whereas you got these near-death experiencers, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of them, okay, documented cases, medical record, recorded, documented. These people are experiencing the same thing around the world.
Right.
And regardless of their belief systems, their religion, everything. So just we as humans, we as one, we will all experience the same thing. And you will reap what you sow. If it doesn't catch you on this end, it will catch you, at your transition when you go through your life review.
Right.
From what I understand.
That's my understanding of it as well.
Maybe I should put that plug in there,
Yeah.
So, but the point is...
And there's beauty in that, because it releases you from fear. When people are saying, oh, you're going to burn in hell for this or that, that's placing fear into your heart and your psyche. That lowers your vibration. You want to be at the highest vibration possible.
Yes. Wow. Yeah.
When you can be released from fear,
Right.
you live life through love, because there's only fear or love. There's one of the two that you're operating out of at all times. And it's better to operate out of love.
That's the
Most
key.
definitely.
You have to get rid of the self. We talk about that a lot, and we will, It's
The
either
ego.
what we call the ego. You either live for yourself or you live for others. That's really what it comes down to, guys. It really does. And if you live your life for others, what is your life review going to be like? You see how this works?
Right.
If you lived your life for yourself, all right, and put others down and condemned others or harmed others, even with your words, your speech, your actions, your deeds, what kind of seeds did you plant? Well, guess what? Harvest time.
Yeah.
And if you want to call that judgment, then by all means, that's fine to call it that. But we like to use the term in the near-death experience world as the life review.
Yes.
So, okay, moving on along. Next one says that you are surrounded and saturated by unconditional love. And then you judge your own life by experiencing the emotions that you created in other people during your life. You also experience the knock-on effect that your actions had by experiencing firsthand the emotions of people, friends, and family of the persons who were affected by your actions.
I love it. It's just brought out different little twists in the comments, but it's all saying the same thing.
It is.
It is. You get to see that ripple effect. You get to experience the effect that you had on other life.
Right.
But I love the fact that most everyone comes back saying that you are surrounded and saturated by unconditional love.
Yes, yes. Even during your life review, guys, I've heard of stories of people feeling like they're going to faint because of seeing the things that they've done. But they said the love was, the more they felt like they were going to pass out, they said the more they kept pumping in the love. They said it was like drunk on love. I forgot the expression that they used.
And I love the way one of our guests brought it out, that source is also accommodating to you. It's just amazing, the comments and the experiences that are out there that can transform your life.
Yes, it's a beautiful thing.
It really is.
You know, Daphne, if I'd have known this when I was a kid, it's just, anybody, if you guys can grasp this is the real deal. Grasp it and chew it up and really apply it to your life and meditate on it and say, you know what? Everything I do is going to affect everything around me. Everything I do to others is going to affect them and everything around them. You see, so love. You know, put out the good. Vibe as high as you can. And you're going to have to work on self. You got to get a hold of the ego. The ego needs to be in balance with back to the one.
Right, you know, and I've heard it put what the ego is, and I've said this before, but for those that have not heard this, ego is edged God out. When you can put God back in the place of the self then it's transforming. You can operate more out of love than through selfishness.
Yes. Very good. Alrighty, well, moving on along. Daphne, would you take the next one, please?
My understanding, after reading hundreds of NDEs, is that in spite of encountering pure love, people experience the pain and joy that they caused other people.
Very good. That's actually parroting. Same thing we've been saying pretty much the whole time, you know? Mm-hmm. Like they said, this person has read hundreds of NDEs.
Right. I mean, like us, when you do the research, when you really dig into this and learn as much as you can from it, it transforms your life. It transforms your belief system that you can operate more out of love than out of fear. And, you know, you do not have to have an NDE to experience that. Yeah, exactly. You can learn about it to grow. And that's our purpose here as humans, is to grow as a soul. We are here for a purpose.
Experience.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Not that it has to be, this is what you're here to learn or do. It's right. To experience.
Yeah. Because you can feel things and experience things in the physical realm that you can't feel in the spiritual realm. Although you are spiritual beings feeling it now, but you're experiencing it through this physical vessel, which we can, you know, we have physical pains that go with this vessel, and we got physical delights and joys and all that we can. It all has to do with how we take care of it, you know, how we eat, what we put into it.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to put alcohol in it. You don't want to put any animal into your body, by no means, regardless of what it is.
Lowers your vibration.
Yeah. No dairy, you know, any kind of animal, keep it out. That's going to keep you down where you don't need to be. Anyway, moving right on along. Next one says that try on the idea of you judging you without your ego. It changes and clarifies literally everything. So keep that in mind. Now, from what we understand, that your ego is destroyed when you have a near-death experience. Ego does not go over to the other side. So when people talk about judgment now and wanting to judge this one and judge that one and this one should be condemned, even they talk about Hitler, like they want to judge Hitler. Who are we to say? I don't know. That's not my call. Okay? But the point is, you know, you are trying to be judging from your ego. Your ego is what's doing the judging. Your ego is what wants a God that judges. Okay? Your ego is what wants to judge others, you see. So that ego, once it's destroyed, it doesn't go over to the other side. So these people go to the other side. It's just pure love. So once you're on the other side and you're pure love, now look at your selfishness. You know, look at yourself through the eyes of pure love of what you did to others. Okay, of how you lived, how you treated yourself, how you treated others, how you treated life, like you said earlier, the insects, the nature, anything, everything in life.
All life.
Think about that. You're not going to be seeing it from an ego perspective.
Right.
So it's going to hit you even harder, more pure. You're going to see it from God's perspective.
You tie back into source.
Yeah.
And that is pure love. And that's how you can look at what you did through that filter.
It's the only way you'll be able to feel it and experience the way it needs to be experienced, So just something to think about, Any final comments on that one?
That's all.
Okay, take the next one, please.
This all pivots on what the word judgment actually means. I read when people discuss this moment, they seem to say that the reviewer or person showing them their life on earth, it displays no judgment toward them, but that they themselves are allowed to see their deeds, and not just from their own perspective, but from the perspective of those around them to whom their deeds may have greatly hurt. That viewing of their own life in this way gives them perspective and understanding anew. To my mind, this then suggests that we gain rapid growth. And what is growth other than understanding and knowledge? To me, this does not touch at all on our need for a Savior, i.e. the role played by quote-unquote Jesus Christ.
Okay, some good points there. Again, like so many say, it pretty much comes down to you tied in and feeling what, others experience by what you had done throughout your life. It's that kind of the life review. You're your own judging all that in that sense. Now, there's a couple of things in here that I thought was pretty interesting. Really sticks out in my mind. And I think about this as well, and I have thought about it. And when you really look into it, it gets deep. We've kind of touched base on this in other episodes. We may do more in the future. But when you really start to understand that there is no judgment and you don't need to be judged, then it really destroys the concept of salvation. And I hate to say this, guys, but really needing a Savior. Okay?
We've done nothing that needs saved from.
Right.
That we need saved from.
Exactly. So now, this is not knocking any of the masters. I love the role that Yeshua played and what he left for us to learn by. The question is, are you learning by his example and walking the walk that he walked, or are you part of today's mainstream, what we would call Christianity, where they feel that they don't really have to do anything but just believe? All right, just believe that Jesus.
And then live your life the way you want to live your life.
Is the Son of God because he died for your sins. Well, no. I don't want to get off track here. I'm not going to go down that. But just keep that in mind when it relates to the word judgment. And think about that. If you're not going to be judged, you don't need to be saved. You need to understand the role who Yeshua was and the role that he played. And he was a master.
Right. But there were many masters.
He's one of many, 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 many. Absolutely.
Right.
And he taught us life examples of how to be one with the all. He didn't come here to be worshipped. He didn't come here to be turned into the only Son of God or any kind of deity that needs to be worshipped or anything. No. God does not need to be worshipped. You're getting back off into the actual God, say like the I want to say even like the Romans created, but you can even go back to the beginning of time. Just all of the gods that man has created since the beginning of time. Without getting off track again. So I don't know. Just something to think about when it comes to that. And and if you want to look at Jesus or Yeshua, he was our big brother. He was a master who found God and he
realized his own divinity.
His own divinity, correct.
And tried to show us that. That's what he was saying.
And that's what he was here for. So
that's why he said, "You yourselves are gods."
Yeah, and you can do more, even more greater things than I. So
yeah. So what are we doing then, people? Come on. And I love this in the comment as well. That life review it helps us to gain knowledge and growth and understanding about the things that we've done and experienced. Yeah. And that is our purpose here, is to experience and to grow as a soul, to remember our divinity, and then create our world.
Mm-hmm. Very good, very good. Well, any final comments?
No, that's all. On that one.
Sounds good. Next one says that there is no judgment on the other side. We judge ourselves from a 360 degree perspective, and others too. There is no religion on the other side. The person returning has zero need to convince anyone of a God or anything. I like that.
I really do too.
I like that.
And I reading this, it really resonates with me because I have not had an NDE, but I've read and interviewed, and we've had all these experiences and gained our knowledge in this realm that I'm at the point I really just don't feel I have to throw my beliefs or condemn you for believing differently than I do. I don't have to convince you of anything or anyone. This is my walk and that's your walk. Who am I to say anything about it? I love everyone and everything. And that's the way we should be. Just live and love. Harm none.
And enlighten those that you meet on being the best version of themselves. And our responsibility is all to reach and strive for enlightenment. And helping others to understand that they are one with the all, and they're not all worthless sinners that can't do anything. Just teach them the divinity is in all of us, and that they too can shine, and that alone is going to look good in your life review.
Yeah.
Not that you're doing it to look good in the life review. Do it because you love people. Right.
Exactly. I love this. That there's the 360 degree perspective. Mm-hmm. And we hear that through so many accounts that you physically see the 360, and then in the life review, your judgment is in like a 360 as well.
Yeah, you see everything from all perspectives.
Exactly.
I like that. Mm-hmm. And again, like it brings out here, we've covered this in many episodes. There is no religion on the other side. Yeah, in case you guys were wondering, religion is human constructs. It's things we got going on this side. It's got nothing to do with God.
Right.
Or the afterlife. The person returning has zero need to convince anyone of a God or anything.
Right. I mean, why do you have to convince someone of anything? Why do you have to push belief systems on anyone?
That's the way the system has been set up.
Right.
And people have been indoctrinated to do. That's been going on for years. Thousands of years.
Oh, yeah. Live and let live and love and share that knowledge of oneness with everything, your own divinity.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We are a collective. We are the human race. We are a collective. And when you can realize that, that's when our world will change.
And the consciousness or the collective consciousness is one.
Yes.
Although collective creates the illusion of group or more than one, in physical human terms, it does in that sense.
Right, when there's only one.
But in
God.
In the spiritual sense, one, it's all collected. It's collective. It's all
right.
There's
only one thing, period. And that is source. Source energy. Source energy is everything. Yep. That is collective, but one at the same time. That is the dichotomy that you have to wrap your mind around.
That you are you're an individual. You are who you are, but you are God.
Yes.
And at the same time, you're not. But at the same time, you are.
Yeah.
You always have been. You always will be, but you never will be. That's so as long as you're seeking, you'll find. But you got to keep on seeking.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Any final comments, Daphne?
No, not on that one.
Good deal. Okay. Moving right on along here. Would you like to take the next one?
Sure. It says, there was no God or judge and jury of any sort standing by to critique me or my life. It was only me that saw and felt what had caused hurt or pain to others and myself, and felt what I could have or should have done differently. I did sense or feel an overwhelming love and acceptance, though.
Thank you. One thing that pops out in my mind that I like, I hadn't really looked at it from this perspective, but if you think about it, it says here, of course, we know that the hurt, the pain that you caused others, and the joy that, you will feel that, but it says here, and, felt what I could have or should have done differently. So maybe you don't just experience what happened. Maybe you also get to experience, like, what if you did this? And then look at this outcome. Would that could be all wrapped up in it in some kind of way too.
Right,
we
now-
don't know, because it is a lesson in that sense, I guess. What do you think?
Right. And yeah, I do believe I have maybe through the reviews that we done at one point, where you get to see the different outcomes, what could have been.
I mean, I don't know much about that, but it's just
Yeah,
something to
I've
think
only
about.
heard it just a couple of times, but yeah, I do believe there is that, you could have done things differently and seen that outcome, what it would have been. Yeah, and that's the lesson in the life review, is that you come back changed and you experience life differently and love more and share with others and are less judgmental. It transforms lives.
Yeah, I like
There's
that.
lessons in every experience, be it a DNDE or a regular NDE. There are lessons in it for that person.
Very good. And it's always specific for that person too.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, good. Any more comments on that? All right, I'll take the next one. Moving on along here, it says that during the life review, there goes the life review again, we must experience whatever negativity and pain we have caused in this world, both to other humans and animals. Renouncing our negative behaviors here on earth can change our life review. We must repent. I like this. This so fits in with everything we've been saying.
Exactly, yes.
Again, the life review, you're going to feel what you've done, what you've put out. That's the reaping and sowing. But like it says here, both other humans and animals.
Life.
All of life, like we
Yeah.
mentioned earlier, even trees and things like that.
Yes.
If whatever good you did, it's coming back. Whatever harm, hurt, it's coming back. You can't get around it. But I like it says here, it says that renouncing those negative behaviors, in other words,
We're renouncing it now, yeah.
doing it here on earth, and it will change your life review.
Yes.
Think about that.
Yes.
And like it says, we must repent. That repent is that what metanoia is the actual Greek word. It means to turn around.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what that means.
Right.
Turn around and quit doing the mean and the harm and the hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Quit relating to being what you call a sinner. If you can, that's your identity. If you've been conditioned all your life that you're a sinner, well, guess what? You subconsciously will act in harmony with your identity, and you not even know it.
Right.
You see, so if you understand and think that you're God or part of God or an individuality source of the source of the divine, you're going to act like it too, because it's your identity. You can't get around it.
Mm-hmm.
All righty, moving on along. Will you take the next one, Daphne?
There is no last judgment day, as everyone judges himself or herself at the time of their own death. No angry deity judges us. We judge ourselves, and the purpose of it is to see how our actions have affected ourselves and others, so that we can do better in another incarnation. Or if you come back, then change your ways and live better now.
Exactly. So again, this pretty much talks about there's no judgment. Like even the Bible says, it talks about it. But it does say that you will have to judge yourself in that regard.
Right, right. And I like the way this person brings it out. And we really have to realize that if you're living and believing in the Bible, then you're believing, if you believe that it is complete 100% truth, that there is no man comments in it, then when you cross over, you're going to realize that there is no angry God waiting for you
to judge you.
That is here, that is now. You're believing in a God that is angry and wrathful and
judgmental.
I mean, I don't feel like I have to believe that anymore.
No.
I don't believe that anymore. So, if that's your walk, that's your walk. If it helps you become a better person, become a better person. But we have to realize that is not the case from millions of NDEs that have come back saying the same thing.
Yeah. And like it says here, the purpose of this is to see how our actions affected others, ourselves, and the big picture.
Yes.
Very good, good.
Make the change now. Make the change now.
Yes, and that's the key. Take the next one, Daphne. It's a really super short, just a few words there, but it says a lot.
Yes, it is. I really love this. And this is something that we really, really, really have to
Grasp.
Yes, thank you. We have to grasp this. And when you can, it is life transforming. It changes your paradigm, your whole reality. We are God and we judge ourselves.
Yes. If you want to use the term judge from a human perspective, that's not even really the proper word, really. It's just
Right.
the word we're using. You have to experience,
Yes.
or how about re-experience your experiences, maybe,
Yeah.
for lack of words, to see what kind of energy you put out. Were you a loving soul?
Mm-hmm.
You know, did you plant seeds of love and kindness and goodness and things like that? Or did you plant seeds of destruction?
Right.
Harvest time, harvest time. And the ego does not like to hear that word, that you are God. The ego hates that word, okay? It hates to know that it's something, you know, that it's not something separate from everything else. That's what the ego thinks, that it's separate. So the separate is what causes the self, and the self is what causes the selfishness. And it goes back to which causes the separation, okay? The reason why you have all the garbage in the world is because we've all separated ourselves from the one.
Exactly.
So acknowledge that you are the one. Ego won't like that, but you got to get rid of the ego anyway.
That's right. That's right. And there's all kinds of information out there to help you to break down your ego, to live in that love, and to realize your divinity. There's all kinds of videos out there on it, and it's not blasphemous. I mean, because I remember at a time when I heard some of the teachers that I listened to throughout my lifetime say that you are God, and it's like, oh my God, I can't listen to this. You know, it is not blasphemous. The blasphemous for you to believe that you're not divine.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
And to believe that you are separate.
Right.
To believe that you need somebody to save you. Well, that's all blasphemy.
Right.
All right, moving on along. We got time for a few more here. It says that you will be your own judge, and you will judge yourself righteously.
Mm-hmm.
For all knowledge of all things will be available to you. That's
The
tied in
360.
back to the source. Yeah.
Yep.
You get to experience you through the eyes of the person you wronged. You get to experience the mess you put on others as if it were you. Self-judgment. God, how brilliant and simple. There is no judgment. Without judgment, there is no sin in the way we have been conditioned to believe.
Wow.
Comments?
It resonates 100% with me.
It
This
does.
is the way I believe now, and it has brought such enlightenment to my life, and I love being able to live a life free of fear.
Exactly.
That makes such a difference in the way you experience life when you can live without having fear thrown on you.
Mm-hmm. Very good. I like the part here that really, really pops out. I mean, that whole comment pretty much resonates with everything we've pretty much said on this episode, and it's the same thing. We'll get the same thing from everybody on these near-death experiences. But I love the part here. It says that you get to experience you, okay, through the eyes of the person or persons that you have wronged. Mm-hmm. You get to experience the mess that you put on others as if it were you. Okay, I love this line here. It says that God, how brilliant and yet so simple.
Yes, 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 yes.
It's brilliant. It's simple. It's the best way. You don't have to be tormented, thrown in a fiery pit because you've committed a few crimes down here on earth, or you've made mistakes. You made bad choices. Everybody makes bad choices. Nobody is perfect. Okay? But the point is, hey, learn and move on. Don't keep doing stupid stuff.
Right.
Because you're going to have to re-experience that from a higher source when you get to the other side. You know.
Most definitely.
Yes. Well, we've got time for a couple of more here, Miss Daphne. If you'd like to go ahead and take that next one.
Sure. It says, I would call it in-depth learning rather than judgment. It's like the ultimate lesson in cause and effect, which ultimately leads to understanding and compassion as opposed to judgment and fear.
There you go. Well said. Well said. I like that. I like that. So again, it goes back to, well, what is judgment? Well, that's the word that we're trying to use human terms And it usually has a negative connotation.
Exactly,
oh, judgment,
yes.
You're wrong, you're a sinner, I'm going to burn you. No, that's not how God works. Mm-mm. In fact, it kind of reminds me of that a near-death experience, a review that we had done quite a while back about the person. They knew they were, lack of words, sex, drugs, rock and roll, party hardy. They knew they didn't have that relationship with God. They wasn't a religious person, spiritual person. They did what they wanted to do. And in their minds, they knew and was ready to get judged. They knew it.
Ready for my judgment.
When they saw God coming, they just knew. They knew it, some kind of sense. And they said when he got there, that they said, "Well, I'm ready for my judgment." And it said that Soros just laughed, and he said, and he just laughed and laughed. He said, "I'm not in the business for judging. I said, I'm in the business of loving."
Exactly.
So just little things like that to keep in mind.
Yes, and with you saying that, in the business of loving, it just really reminds me of all the different religions that are out there that divide and conquer mankind. Yeah. If you can put religion away and make your religion love, then our world will change.
Correct. Love is the religion.
Yes.
It's the only religion. Mm-hmm. It's not any other of these man-made constructs out there. I hate to disappoint you guys.
Right.
If your religion helps you to do better, it's because of the love. All right, love is what's going to take you to the right direction you're going to have to go. If your religion causes separation, us against them, it's our way, it's this way, there is no other, you shut everybody out, you won't grow. And
I think, all right, think about this, all right, and this is what religion does. It's that divide and conquer. You've got one group believing, if they don't believe in Jesus and be saved, then they're going to burn in hell and I'm never going to see them again. And then the other groups out there are thinking, these people are not going to make it into the paradise and into the new world.
Because it's not part of our religion.
You're sitting there, you're dividing and conquering right there in yourself. So neither one, according to their belief systems, is going to make it. Yeah. Neither one. So that's why we have to get religion out of it. Live in love. That unites. That grows knowledge and growth that can really transform lives.
Love is the true religion.
Unity, the collective.
Yeah, that's the key.
Yeah, so if all these groups are out there, one against the other, then nobody's going to make it. No one.
Right, according to these belief systems. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why the NDE say there is no religion on the other side. So whatever you believe in that your religion teaches you guys, get rid of it.
Live in love. Yes.
You've got to love. Love is religion. Love is the religion. And religion is not even a good word. That's just a man-made construct to get to God. Well, God is love, guys. If you want to get to God, you got to love. You don't have to go through a different religion or this religion, that religion. No. You've got to love. And that's what these masters have taught. So moving right on along, we got one more final comment here. We'll go ahead and close this session up. It says that the universe does not judge. We get to judge ourselves. All sins are of man. All judgments are also. Daphne.
Applause, please. Applause, please. There's
Final
beauty
comments.
in that beautiful last comment.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What sticks out?
The universe. Mm-hmm. God's source energy. It does not judge.
No.
And all sins are man-made constructs. And there's no judgments.
Right.
That releases fear, and you can live in love. Oh my gosh.
And like we mentioned earlier, you are not a sinner. Okay? These are titles and descriptions that put on you from the church. Okay? You are a spark of the divine made in the image of.
Yes.
Okay? You have God in you. You are God within. Okay? You have to go within. The kingdom is within. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
That's what these masters taught. And like it says, sins are of man. This is man-made concepts. Are there wrong things to do? Absolutely. Anytime you intervene, you're breaking the universal law of, pretty much the law of non-interference. You don't have the right to interfere or intervene in anyone's life in any kind of way unless that person is in some kind of danger or, harm or in harm or, could get hurt or you can get hurt, whatever. But then you can intervene. But other than that, leave people alone. Love people, so.
Shut your mouth. Turn off your judgments.
Learn how to love.
Learn how to love.
Very good. Guys, that's the key. That's the key. It's all about love. All about love. Well, Daphne, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. Any final comments?
Yes, just just really open your heart to real, pure love. Realize your divinity, and
which is love, which is what we call God. It's
yeah,
that image, the same thing.
Unconditional love.
It's in all
Love
things.
without condition.
And with that in mind, we love you all. Don't forget to go to the website, NDE for more information. And may peace be with you all until next time.
Y'all let your light shine.
For information about the NDE World Podcast, visit NDE.world. That's NDE.world.